Hello guys, welcome back to this video tutorial on RESTful web services. In this video we will see how to create a new web service that retrieve into the database some objects whose values are equal to some parameters sent by the client application as QueryParam. QueryParam is another annotation of JAX-RS. Let's suppose that we want to create a web service that get from the database object with a specific value for the city property and state property. First of all, we can create a method that get this kind of object from the database. So public we can copy and paste the code of this method from this file. Here we are creating with a JDBC API a statement object using the connection object created into the constructor of the company repository class. Then this is the SQL string, query string that we are executing with the condition where on the values of state and city fields, the execution of the query, a loop on the RESTful set if there is for each row retrieved from database its field values are set to the corresponding properties of a company object, and at least this object is added to the collection of a company object that is the company's object, and finally the list is returned. Let's come back to the company WS class and create the method for the new web service. So we can return directly the collection returned by the get companies by state city method of the company repository class. Now we have to add the get annotation for the HTTP get request and the path, the specific path of this method. We can say json qp QueryParam, and produces annotation. It is another one with JSON string. But how can this method take these parameters, state and city, from the URL string of the HTTP request? To do so, we have to map each query string parameter into the URL with each one of these two parameters with the QueryParam annotation. So for each param, here there is a QueryParam annotation whose argument is the corresponding query string param to be mapped with this param. Okay, the web service is ready. We can now start our application. Run on server Glassfish. Okay, let's come back to Postman to send the new requests. With a previous request, we saw that we have in the database these 4 objects. Suppose that we want to get the object having state equal to Italy and city equal to Rome. There are these 2 objects. So we can call the new web service. The path was JSON QP, and then now we have to specify here the values of the 2 parameters, 2 query string parameters, state Italy and another value city Rome. As you can see, these parameters are added by Postman here in the URL. Let's send the new request. Okay, we get these 2 objects. Okay, that's it. In the next video we will see how to create our first object and store it into the database, sending it to the web service with a post HTTP request. Thank you for your attention.